You sit among people, smiling, nodding, laughing on cue, and yet, you feel like a ghost. Every word feels rehearsed, every gesture calculated. You can't be yourself, because being yourself no longer fits. This isn't about hating people. It's about the unbearable performance of connection. Where every conversation feels like a transaction. And every social gathering drains your soul. This is modern loneliness. Not the absence of people, but the absence of authenticity among them. And as Nietzsche warned, the higher we soar, the smaller we appear to those who cannot fly. From childhood, we're trained to perform. At home, you play the role of the good son, the obedient daughter, the peacekeeper. At school, you perform intelligence. At work, you perform teamwork. Online, you perform happiness. You become a character in other people's stories. And over time, you forget what your own voice sounds like. Psychologists call it impression management. The exhausting process of adjusting your behavior to please others. But here's the dark side. When every interaction becomes a performance, you stop existing authentically. That's why socializing feels like torture. Not because you hate people. But because you hate pretending. Nietzsche called it the herd instinct. The human craving to belong. So strong that we betray our individuality to stay accepted. Every time you say, yes, when you mean, no. Laugh when you're dying inside. Or apologize for something you didn't do. The herd wins, and you lose a piece of yourself. Family, the place where love should feel unconditional, can become the most subtle form of emotional imprisonment. They say they love you. But that love often comes with a contract. Be who we expect you to be, and we'll accept you. When you try to grow or assert boundaries, you're met with guilt. You've changed. You think you're better than us now. We're your family, you owe us. This is love weaponized by obligation. And the moment you question it, you become the villain. Nietzsche called this ressentiment. The resentment of those who feel powerless toward those who try to rise above. They can't follow you, so they try to pull you back. You don't hate them. You hate the version of yourself you have to become to survive around them. Then come the friends. The group chat that drains more energy than it gives. The friend who calls only when they need something. The one who vanishes when you do. We call it friendship. But most social bonds are transactional. You offer empathy, advice, validation. And in return, you get temporary belonging. It's a subtle economy of attention, not affection. Connection maintained not by honesty, but by fear of rejection. And when you finally stop playing your part, when you go silent or set boundaries, you're labeled distant, rude, antisocial. But the truth is, you've simply stopped paying the emotional tax of false friendship. Modern workplaces promise community. We're like family here, they say. But in reality, they're arenas of constant surveillance. Every smile is strategic. Every compliment rehearsed. Every meeting a stage. Teamwork becomes a mask for conformity. Honesty becomes unprofessional. Exhaustion becomes dedication. You're not a person, you're a performance score. And behind that forced friendliness is quiet competition. The pressure to appear agreeable even when you disagree. The system rewards compliance, not courage. And that's how the herd keeps itself intact. By crushing anyone who dares to think freely. Then one day, you start noticing things. The smiles that don't reach the eyes. The conversations that are just rehearsed scripts. The kindness that's really control. Once you see the patterns, you can't unsee them. It's like waking up in a world where everyone's wearing masks. And you're the only one who realizes it. Psychologically, it's hyper-awareness. Philosophically, it's awakening. The death of illusions. When the comforting lies dissolve, you face raw truth. Most relationships are built not on love or understanding, but on mutual performance. That realization is both liberating and devastating. Because now, you can never go back. So how do you survive in a world that demands performance? The answer isn't to disappear. It's to create strategic distance. Learn to exist among people without losing yourself. Attend the meeting, but don't internalize the drama. Visit family, but set mental boundaries. Keep some friends, but protect your energy. It's not isolation, it's selective connection. Marcus Aurelius lived this balance. Surrounded by politics and manipulation, he remained inwardly free through stoic detachment. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's strategic solitude. A peace that no longer depends on anyone's validation. You don't reject humanity. You just stop being consumed by it. For many, it becomes an impossible choice. Be authentic and risk isolation. Or conform and stay accepted. Authenticity often costs connection. Most people don't want truth, they want comfort and validation. The individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe, Nietzsche said. He wasn't romanticizing loneliness, he was warning us. Freedom demands separation. To become who you are, you must be willing to disappoint others. To walk away. To sit alone rather than fake connection. Yes, it hurts, but so does pretending forever. Loneliness today isn't physical, it's existential. We're surrounded by people yet untouched by real connection. We share everything online yet hide everything that matters. We live in constant interaction, and zero intimacy. The more we perform, the further we drift from ourselves. But Nietzsche would argue, this loneliness is necessary. It's the bridge between who you were and who you're becoming. The man who seeks greatness must first walk alone. That solitude is where you stop mimicking the world. And start creating your own values. So if you feel isolated, misunderstood, detached, don't rush to fill the silence. Use it. Shape it. Let it rebuild you. Here's how to live authentically without vanishing from society. Limit social exposure consciously. Protect your quiet time like oxygen. Detach from approval. Whether they praise or criticize you, remain steady. Speak less, observe more. Energy doesn't come from noise, it comes from discernment. Invest in solitude rituals, reading, walking, reflection. Keep only reciprocal relationships. Mutual respect or nothing. Replace fitting in with standing firm. You're not here to perform, you're here to evolve. When you live this way, you stop chasing comfort and start cultivating clarity. You stop begging to be seen. And instead become impossible to ignore. Because authenticity has its own gravity. Socializing feels like torture not because you're broken, but because you're waking up. You're no longer hypnotized by small talk or social games. You crave truth, silence, depth. Things this world rarely offers. But in that exhaustion lies your rebirth. The pain of seeing through the performance is the price of awareness. It's not a curse, it's initiation. Marcus Aurelius endured it. Nietzsche embraced it. And now, so must you. Because the moment you stop needing constant connection, you become whole. And when you're whole, no amount of loneliness can break you. Because solitude has turned into strength. So the next time socializing feels unbearable, don't judge yourself for it. See it for what it is, your soul rejecting the fake. You're not antisocial. You're awakening. And that awakening will cost you comfort. But it will give you freedom. Because in a world addicted to performance, the most dangerous thing you can be, is real. Solitude is not your punishment, it's your path to authenticity.